David, great to have you on the show. Let's take a look at how the market is performing right now. Certainly, analysts feel that it's the market traded weak today, despite volumes traded. What's your take on what's going on there? I mean, have investors lost that hype we saw generated from the expectation of GT Bank results?
Yes, the market for the entire week performed very, very well. You will discover that all through the week, the market was upbeat and ending today with a positive advancement. Today, the all-share index actually advanced by about 0.19%. And so it's been a week of heightened activities at the market. Volume was also driven to a very high level. And today, the market was actually propelled by Dangote Cement, which gained about 1 naira 10 kobo. CAP was also up, and GlaxoSmith was also up at about the same price the same amount of 1 naira 10 kobo. And so looking at the week in general, we will observe that the market benefited tremendously from the expectations from the release of the result of GT Bank. And now that that information has hit the market and it actually sustained the tempo in the market, one may not actually know what will happen thereafter. Especially looking at next week that the CBN will be out there selling some treasury bills. But so far, it's been a wonderful ride for the market, especially the banking sector, which has driven activities in the market.
Well, David, I mean, one interesting trend I did note, it seems like that analysts are noting, actually, it seems that foreign investors seem to be moving more towards the multinational stocks on the exchange. And for example, we're seeing GlaxoSmithKline up today. In fact, it topped the gainers list. What's your take on this?
Yes, the rally that actually pushed the values of most of the multinational stocks in the past apparently missed the fact that GlaxoSmith is also a multinational company. And so apparently they are now zeroing on that security. And for the past 1 or 2 weeks, we have seen the upsurge in demand for that security, and the price has actually been driven and gained more than 10 naira within a very short period. So which indicates, therefore, that the foreign investors have now zeroed down on GlaxoSmith, considering the fact that they have more or less driven the other multinational stocks to unprecedented levels in recent times. Now, I was trying to investigate to find out the reasons behind the attraction to the multinational stocks. And I was informed by some well-informed market analysts that the foreign investors are of the belief that most of the multinationals have a superior corporate governance records and mechanism compared to the locally sponsored enterprises. And so that has actually orchestrated the demand for multinational stocks. But most of them are now highly priced. And so apparently, moving forward, it's not unlikely that they may start looking at some of the locally sponsored enterprises with very, very good fundamentals and good records.
Well, Mr. Adonri, I mean, I just want to turn our attention to Cadbury, who actually released their results on the exchange today. And I must say, not much change in the top line numbers. We actually saw revenues were down just 0.18%. Not very good looking numbers, David. PBT slightly up. What are your thoughts on these results? And certainly, looking at the market reaction, we saw the stock up about 85 kobo.
Yes, in the past, Cadbury had been in the same league with Nestle PLC because both of them are in the same industry. And so they ran neck to neck in the past. But as a result of the corporate governance challenges that bedevil the operations of Cadbury a few years back, the gulf between the two companies now became well established. And so that is why you have Nestle now trading at over 500 naira, and Cadbury is struggling where it is now below 20 naira. But because of the caliber of people who now constitute the board of Cadbury Nigeria PLC, and that the company has been on the path of recovery for some years, although it has not made any distribution to investors. But investors have that belief that that company is on the rise. And if you look at the performance of the company in the last quarter, in spite of the security challenges that have adversely affected the businesses of a lot of domestic conglomerates, especially in northern part of Nigeria, you will discover that investors are actually hopeful that this company is on the rise. And so they are actually staking their investment into the future of the company, you know, considering the kind of board that they have and the improvement that has been occurring in respect of the fundamentals.
Well, David, that's only reflected in how investors play that stock today. But let's turn our attention to the banking sector, which usually, of course, drives the market performance. Now, looking at how it performed today, not very good. And I'd like to pinpoint Access Bank. I mean, that bank was still waiting to release the results. But looking at how the stock price is performing, it was down, even though their results are not out yet. Now, investors seem to still be playing that stock cautiously.
Yes, that is my view too, that in spite of the improving fundamentals of Access Bank, it is still too early to rank it in the same league as the top three, which are First Bank, GT Bank, and Zenith, that have already established themselves, have consistently performed over the year. And so a lot of analysts are taking cautious approach at appraising the future of Access Bank and even the current status of the bank, considering the fact that the major activity that the bank was involved in is still a little bit hazy. Analysts are still not satisfied that perhaps the synergy will occur in the immediate future.
Right, David.
And that perhaps...
Unfortunately,
yes,
David, we've run out of time, but certainly very interesting what you're saying about Access Bank there. Of course, we'll continue that conversation tomorrow. But thank you so much for joining us. David Adonri, GM with Lambeth Trust.